What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be looking at the Catch Cup, and the team we're going to be taking a look at today is Shadow Scizor, Corviknight, and Gligar. This team was submitted to the channel by Cheeks4You, and he says, "Hey Mark, I've got a few sets of Catch Cup for you. This is my first time using all three of these mons, so I'm still getting used to their damage output and bulk. I'm limited on options, but I think this team has some play. Obviously very weak to Shadow Talent." Yeah, I was going to say, when I just looked at this team, I was like, I don't know if this team will have play. You are triple weak to Talonflame, and that was everywhere. So, but obviously very weak to Shadow Talon, which is popping up a good amount, but it's nice being so strong into Credilli. That's true. I would love some advice to get me to Legend. All right. I hope you're okay with me being harsh on you then. Also, don't ask why I threw a dig into Toedscruel. Call it close for content. Thanks, and keep up the good content. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for submitting. Please keep submitting battles, everybody. I kind of want to just ride out the rest of the season, so I'm going to be making just random content here and there, and I'm probably not going to be playing too much the rest of the season, so please keep submitting if you'd like. I will be showcasing pretty much everything towards the end of the season. Yeah, like I said, obviously there's an issue with the team building a little bit here, but you are limited based on what you can obtain during the Catch Cup, so I understand, and your resources. So I will say that yeah, anyways, before we hop into the battles, a special thank you to the expert trainer members on this channel: Benny Hemlock, Dr. Green Mustache, Soham Patil, CD Slaskas, and Eliana, as well as the legend trainer members on this channel: Big Burden, Andrew Pitton, Musachu, Noodleman, Speedster, Esteros, Liminal Lagomorph, Tom Spencer, and Fast Idiot Boss. Without further ado, let's hop into some battles. Oh yeah, I was going to say that I did cut out the last set because I only needed 2 to make this video, but good lead into the first match where Dragon Tail is resisted and we have neutral bullet punches. We're going to let the opponent throw first. A Clanging Scales would do a lot of damage. It is just a Dragon Claw, and now we're going to throw an alignment. Okay, so right away into the first match, I'm going to slow this down. Good fast move timing here would be 4 bullet punches before throwing your charge move. Both of your charge moves are walled. You're going to get to 2 charge moves either way because you shielded the first, or because you no shielded the first, and it was only a Dragon Claw. So just make sure you're throwing on better timing because that allows them to get an entire Dragon Tail in for free. You did it again, actually, twice back to back. So they have 2 free Dragon Tails. You're very fortunate that they just let that go and didn't take switch, but they instead get an energy lead on the Grumpig. You end up coming in with Corviknight here. Either would have been okay. Obviously, resist the Psywaves in this matchup. You have super effective Fury Cutters in the back. The opponent ends up going for the Shadow Ball, which is the worst damage per energy move between their 2 charge moves. Both are neutral. You end up connecting with the Payback. That one-shots in the back. It is a Galarian Weezing. Yeah, I think you just let this go, and then once this connects, you will live it, so just pivot into your Gligar, and that's exactly what you're going to do. In comes a Gligar with a 2 shield advantage. The opponent knows they no longer have a win con, so they will resign the match. Into next match, we've got Shadow Scizor into Dedenne. So, okay lead, bullet punches are neutral. So just going to stay in this matchup. Are you going to catch on the Gligar? You are, look at that. All right, on the same wavelength for that one. So making a catch, Parabolic Charge is resisted. That is super nice. The opponent looks like they're going to farm back up. I would throw the dig right away. Okay, so you over farmed and ended up throwing the dig. The reason you want to throw the dig right away is because you get to dig. You can see the pacing down here on 13, which means they are in the middle of their animation because they have a 2-turn fast move, which means if you throw it away, that's right before they get to the play rough, and you would have been able to outpace before a threatening move comes through. But instead, you over farm, you let them catch onto Lapras, but that means you can get to back-to-back digs before they're able to pick up the knockout with the Sparkling Aria. But at this point, you are on Sparkling Aria range, and they have overfarmed quite significantly, so you just have to let this go. This is the correct thing to do, just no shielding and letting the Gligar go down. In comes the Scizor, are going to throw your energy right away. They do have a little bit of residual on the Lapras, so just looking for the knockout. Night Slash does pick up the knockout, and you get the boost. Can we get the farm down? So now at this point, they're at 8 Thunder Shocks, so they throw the Parabolic Charge, which means they're at 3. Can't quite get the farm down, so just going to commit the double shield. You did get the boost, so you may as well just commit the full farm down. Parabolic Charge, what's in the back? It's a Giratina. Throw that energy. Okay, you are going to end up throwing on the Stampede side, which is actually fine because I think you actually will live a Shadow Claw from this range. A Dragon Claw from this range. It will be close. And hopefully you can get to the back-to-back Night Slashes you do on 1 HP. That is absolutely crucial to grabbing that final shield from the opponent. And as soon as you grab that final shield, this game is over because that Dedenne is in Sand Attack farm down range, and the Giratina just cannot get to enough charge moves here in order to take that win. It looks like they actually end up getting the boost themselves, but this is a purified Giratina, which means they could have been running Return Dragon Claw, but they are not. You get the sand attack farm down of the Dedenne, and you are able to take the win. Into the next match, Shadow Scizor into Tinkaton. So neutral lead. Neutral because obviously their fairy winds are resisted and their play rough is resisted. Your bullet punches are neutral, but both of your charge moves are resisted, so it's kind of an awkward matchup. You can very comfortably survive the bulldoze, so I like this no shield. And now just going for the Trailblaze to boost your bullet punches right away. Do get the defense fall. Now you could look for a catch here on the second bulldoze, or you can shield and just go for a one shield farm down. Either play is fine. Looks like you're gonna go for the one shield farm down, coming out with some energy to threaten whatever's in the back. It's a Mandiba. So I would actually pivot out of this matchup, and that's exactly what you're going to do. I think you did pivot a little bit late, but I think that's okay. You end up pivoting into your Corviknight, and that ends up baiting out a Dedenne. So this is okay. Obviously, you have two better answers to Dedenne, and unfortunately, it found the one Pokemon where that it has play, or like very solid play into. Looks like they're not gonna be able to get the full farm down. They could have tried to commit to it. It was gonna be close depending on whether you live that next Thundershock or not, but they do get the double defense boost. I would just come in with Gligar here, soak up this energy. It's exactly what you're gonna do. The opponent pivots, erasing all of that buff defense into their Manibas, and now you just stay in this matchup because you have a Trailblaze banked. Ooh, no, okay, why are we... Okay, so you're coming into your Scizor, which has only resisted charge moves and not even like catching. You're just like throwing this energy away where both your charge moves are resisted and letting them get more energy on their Manibas. I have no idea why you're doing this. You have the Trailblaze banked. What you do is you just play out the matchup with the Gligar, and then you have the Trailblaze for the Dedenne when it comes back in. Gligar was probably going to win this matchup against the Manibas anyways because it's an Air Slash Manibas, which means their pacing is really bad, and your Fury Cutters are super effective. The opponent ends up going for a catch. You could have baited here, but you know what? You're going to make it two digs either way, so you may as well just go for double dig. And that's exactly what you do. Second dig should be enough to pick up the knockout now that their defense has been reset. Dig does pick up the knockout, and now we just have to make it to an Aerial Ace before the opponent can get to back-to-back charge moves, and that is not a problem for the Gligar. Way spammier than the Air Slash Manibas. Aerial Ace picks up the knockout on the Manibas, and you are able to take that win. Into the next match, we've got Shadow Scizor into Shadow Scizor, so mirror leads. Let's see how we want to play this out and who wins CMP. Obviously, just going to go for the Night Slash right away. No, instead you're going to go for the catch of the Night Slash on your Corviknight. I think I would have played out to see who wins CMP, at least on the first one, and then go for either a catch or a pivot instantly into your Corviknight. Either one would have been fine. However, when you switch into your Corviknight, you bait out a Talent, and as we've kind of already discussed, this team is triple weak to Talonflame, so I have a feeling you're just going to get absolutely run through. You ended up shielding while throwing on the CMP tie. I actually want to go back to that. I know I don't usually do this, but so you're about to make it to a Sky Attack. I have zero clue why you commit to the Payback. Sky Attack, you outpace. Payback, you end up throwing on CMP, because as you can see on the left, it's 15 turns to get to a Payback. Payback is also non-stab, so Sky Attack is actually a better damage per energy move. Yes, Payback does like 8 more damage than Sky Attack, but in terms of damage per energy, Sky Attack's the way to go, and you would have outpaced. So throwing on CMP, losing CMP, forced to commit a shield, and then letting them get a farm down after boosting with a Flame Charge is like worst case scenario. So definitely don't play this the way you did here. Instead, just go for the Sky Attack, get some chip, let your Corviknight go down, and then just come in with your Gligar and hope that, see, they did no shield, so if you had come in with your Gligar and you hadn't committed the shield, you would have been in a way better situation, because they also would have had no energy coming out of this matchup if they had thrown. So yeah, a bit of a tricky situation. Definitely gonna have to let one go. It is just the Flame Charge. Looks like we could have gotten an Aerial Ace, but we're going to overfarm a little bit here. Now going for the Aerial Ace to pick up the knockout on the Talonflame. This Talonflame has already done a ton of work, but they are not done yet. In comes the Shadow Scizor, throwing one in the move, hoping that they let this go and that the Incinerate does not register. But they do end up shielding. That one-shots the Scizor basically from full HP. And yeah, unfortunately, just too weak to that Pokemon. Into next match, picking up a good lead, we've got Shadow Scizor into Azumarill. Just going to throw the Trailblaze as soon as we get to it, because that is on good charge attack timing or fast move timing. 7 bullet punches They end up throwing right away without even throwing the extra bubble, which means this can only be an Ice Beam. So I would actually tell you to let that go next time, because Ice Beam is actually pretty non-threatening to the Scizor. And then, okay, so they come in with a Clodsire. You could have chipped with the Trailblaze, but I can understand also wanting to bank that so you can boost later. However, you try to catch on 6, which is only a Sludge Bomb, which is double resisted on Scizor, which means they're never going to go for a Sludge Bomb there. If you're going to try and go for the catch, go for it on 7 at the very worst, because that is enough for a Stone Edge. So, but you do come in with a Corviknight. This is an extremely dominant matchup, especially if they are on Sludge Bomb plus Earthquake, and it looks like they are. So they are completely walled in this matchup. Just go for the Sky Attack here. That's exactly what you're going to do. It looks like you actually threw it on the CMP tie. This won't be enough to knock out the Clodsire, but it will probably put it into Sand Attack farm down range, because I don't think 2 more Earthquakes are going to pick up the knockout. No, they're not. So I would just look for a full farm down here. The opponent realizes what's going to happen, so in comes a Morpeko. You're going to chip with the Sky Attack to burn the Switch Clock, and now come in with your Gligar, come with your Gligar, ooh, I don't know what's going on. You're staying in this matchup for some reason to throw energy that is walled, and now you're coming with your Gligar, but now they have enough energy that they can go back-to-back Aura Wheels, and you have to basically just sacrifice your Gligar. So definitely don't do that either. Just come into your Gligar when you have the good matchup. You would have been able to get the Fury Cutter farm down before they got to the second charge move, and you'd actually have a full HP Gligar instead of a dead one right now. But in comes the Shadow Scizor. I mean, this game pretty much is over anyways, because everything is pretty much in Bullet Punch farm down range. Just going to settle for the Night Slash here. They have to kind of just let this go. Clodsire is going to get Bullet Punch down as well, but not before they make it to one final charge move. But that is okay, because we can just shield this up, Bullet Punch, farm down the Morpeko, and you are still able to take that win. Into the next match, we've got Scizor into Talonflame. And it's a Shadow Talonflame at that, so you're going to throw 1 Bullet Punch, pivot into your Corviknight to defer that Incinerate damage, but yeah, well, I mean, what do you do here? You're going to have to shield this up, hoping that you can grab a shield back, and then hopefully align your Gligar, but at this point, this is a Flame Charge Talonflame, because it is the Shadow, which means this thing is basically just going to run through your entire team. I would not be surprised if this thing 1v3s you. They get the full farm down, they come out with energy loaded as well, they have enough for another Flame Charge. Just going to come in with the Gligar here. Gligar is going to get outpaced. They even over farm in this matchup, and if they full send a fly here, I bet it takes out. No, Gligar lives on like 1 HP. Gonna go for the Aerial Ace. I imagine they just commit the shield. No, they're gonna let that go. That was probably the hardest hitting charge move. I guess you could get potentially to a Night Slash here. Unfortunately, you do get denied your fast move when you come in with the Scizor, but it doesn't really matter. I'm guessing 1 Incinerate KOs. Oh my god, that is an insane amount of damage. There are 2 charge moves that don't do as much as that 1 Incinerate did. Holy cow, so you don't even get to see their second or their third Pokemon. They just fully farm you down with the Talonflame, and unfortunately you do lose that game. Into next match, decent lead, but it's actually more neutral than you might expect. Just go for the Night Slash right away. Okay, so why are we not going for the Night Slash? I mean, if you're maybe anticipating a catch, but then you're also shielding on 5, which is only enough for a Dragon Claw, so I'm really not sure what you're doing here. Grab that shield, or don't shield their resisted Dragon Claw, and now you can go for a Night Slash here. Once again, they have enough energy for another charge move, but you have to throw right away. Yeah, so they throw on CMP because this is also another Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw still wouldn't pick up from this range, but you are going to come with the shield, and then just look for the full farm, and you get bailed out with a boost. And now, what are they going to come in with? Where do they want to take this Scizor energy? A Lapras. Okay, I'm sure I don't have to tell you this, but Trailblaze is super effective on Lapras. They might shield this expecting the Trailblaze. They do. Does that allow you to get to a second Night Slash? It does. So it actually kind of works out in your favor. This will do some solid chip, and you're already boosted. Yeah, so it puts the Lapras into the yellow health range with that extra Bullet Punch. And now we can align our Corviknight where we want it. Corviknight can soak up 2 Sparkling Arias, no problem. So just going to let this go. I mean, no shields are left in play. Come in with your Gligar. Come in with your Gligar. Come in with your Gligar. Come here. What are you doing? Okay, so... oh, there's so many things wrong with this matchup. Okay, so yes, Sand Attacks are super effective, but Gligar is a complete wall to the Stunfisk. Mud Bomb, Discharge, Thundershock, all of it's resisted. They just gave up Switch. Why are we staying in this matchup? And then when you stay in this matchup, if you're going to stay in and get the Sand Attacks, don't throw the 1 resisted charge move that you have. You actually have a neutral charge move into the Stunfisk. You're not running Iron Head. So just go for the payback if you're going to stay and throw energy. But now that you're desyncing the switch timer, this end game could get a little bit awkward. I mean, you still have such a dominant matchup with the Gligar. You actually end up throwing on the CMP tie as well, which means they're actually going to connect with the discharge, which means this Lapras might actually have play in the end game. This is actually incredible. If we end up losing this game, this is a total sell. But the opponent has to burn the switch clock by throwing their energy. Looking to overfarm here, hoping that we can outpace in case the Lapras does come back in. That is a good play. They're going to connect with back-to-back discharge. Now we're going to look for the dig to pick up the knockout on the Stunfisk. This is super effective damage. Stunfisk is bulky, but it's not living that. Dig does pick up the knockout. Can we get to a charge move? The opponent, I mean, just resigns the match, even though they could have gotten to a charge move to pick up the knockout. But whatever, we'll take it. Into the next match, we've got Shadow Scizor into Lapras. Good lead. The opponent's going to save switch into the Primeape. I would catch on 4 here. Yeah, so the opponent is going to outpace you, and they get the turn back by throwing right away. So that is why the opponent is inclined to throw right away, and Rage Fist is neutral, whereas they're not going to instantly full send in close combat when they come in, or an Ice Punch. So you can pretty confidently catch on 4. So I would always, because they're 1 turn behind, throw 4 Bullet Punches and then catch onto your Gligar, because Gligar has a pretty decent matchup into the Primeape. Of course, you don't know that they're not running Ice Punch, but unfortunately, you do have to commit the shield. Now going for the catch of the second one onto your Corviknight, and then what are you going to do here? Just look for a full Sand Attack farm down, hope that they don't get to another charge move. It's going to be really close. Can they get to the close combat? Looks like not yet, so they have to just settle for a Rage Fist, and Rage Fist is not going to be enough to KO. Going to get the full Sand Attack farm down. We are down a shield, but we might be able to grab the shield right back. Only going to make it to 1 charge move here, so this actually is the right play. Going for the payback. It does slightly more damage, but it could have you... Oh, you might have actually been able to get to back-to-back Sky Attacks. Yeah, because Sky Attack is better damage per energy. So going for the Sky Attack there might have actually been the better play. In comes a Talonflame. You end up throwing the Night Slash right away. The Scizor gets KO'd by that Incinerate, and now it's just a Gligar against the world, because Gligar is just not going to win this matchup. Shielding the first 2, and it ends up being a Flame Charge. Yeah, this game is over. The opponent has a charge move at this point, and no matter what it is, it's going to take out the Gligar. Aerial Ace does grab the final shield. They're going to throw it away, and Flame Charge or Fly, whatever it is, will pick up the knockout on the Gligar, and unfortunately, you do lose that game. Into next match, we've got Shadow Scizor into Furret. So this is a decent lead. Both of our fast moves are neutral, and they're actually clones of each other. So just going to go for the Night Slash right away, because that is when the opponent is going to get to a Swift. Trailblaze is double resisted, whereas Swift is single resisted. They're going to shield that up. So yeah, I'm okay with this, committing the shield back, because letting that go, if they let it go, would be fine. But because they did not, committing that shield and just matching shields is actually fine. Now you're going to go for a second Night Slash. The opponent commits the double shield. They actually could have committed to a farm down there, so it's actually nice that they threw. So yeah, just going to let this go. Now just come in with the Corviknight. Corviknight can probably get the full Sand Attack farm down. They're probably going to make it to 2 charge move, but that's okay. Both Swift and Trailblaze are resisted. Swift number 1 does connect. That does very little damage to the Corviknight. Can we get the full farm down and come out with 100 energy? It looks like we're going to be able to. So gonna take that second Swift. Now going for the full Sand Attack farm down. We get it. That is absolutely beautiful. Coming out absolutely loaded with energy. What wants to take this energy? It's going to be a Drapion. So Drapion is going to be met with Sky Attack number 1. And you know what? I bet you can get to a second Sky Attack before they make it to the first charge move. And you can. And then at this point, I would pivot right into my Gligar, because they are going to be low. The opponent actually, yeah, this is fine. Staying in, taking the Aqua Tail or Crunch here. And then just looking for the farm down with your Gligar. And what's in the back? It's a Gastrodon, which means this game is over. The opponent is playing it out to the bitter end, but there is absolutely zero chance that a Gastrodon wins this matchup. Even if they're running Water Pulse, it's not going to be enough to knock out. So yeah, just let this go. It is just the Body Slam, so yeah, this game is over. Now looking to overfarm here. We know this is only enough for another Body Slam, so once again, we can just let this go. Build up to the back-to-back Aerial Aces. The opponent BMs with an Earth Power, throwing on alignment, but it doesn't really matter. Aerial Ace from this range will pick up the knockout. Looks like the opponent has force quit the app, as if their Gastrodon had any chance against the Gligar in the back. We're just going to be able to Fury Cutter farm down the Drapion once it comes back in, and we will be able to take that win. Into next match, maybe the final match of the video, we've got Shadow Scizor into Pangoro. This is a fantastic lead, probably the second to last. The opponent is going to build up to the close combat and probably bait with a Night Slash. You're baiting with a Night Slash as well, which is kind of a bad play, I think. But what do I know? You get the boost, instantly get bailed out. Only because Night Slash is double resisted. So at this point, you may as well just go for the full farm down and guarantee the boost. But you're lucky, you get the boost. In comes the Dedenne. I'd throw 5 and then catch. No, okay, this is fine too. Throwing the Night Slash, they're gonna definitely shield this. And then I would just stay in this matchup. I would look for the full farm down, and then if you can't get the full farm down, go for the catch. 1, 2, ooh, okay. So you're gonna end up just banking a Night Slash for later and pivoting into your Gligar, which is unfortunate because if you hadn't, you would have had the perfect alignment. Because Gligar is your hard answer to the Dedenne, so had you just let your Scizor go down, throwing on CMP potentially, then you would have had the Corviknight on the Darkspawn, or the Dachspawn, and then you would have had Gligar on the Dedenne. But unfortunately, that is not going to be the case, but it's looking like a Corviknight sweep in the end game, because hopefully the Sand Attacks will do enough damage to the Dedenne that we can take this win. We also do have the Night Slash loaded on the Scizor that we could potentially use for a CMB sack swap. That would be absolutely crazy, and I don't expect it, but in comes the Dedenne that will connect with a super effective Parabolic Charge. But once this connects, just come in with the Scizor. I don't know what we're doing. Yeah, okay, so you're not going to get to a charge move there. You finally do realize that. Coming with a Scizor, you had the Night Slash bank. Night Slash picks up the knockout on the Dedenne. It's going to be 1 bullet punch to farm down the Dachspawn, and you are able to take that win. So yeah, actually that was the final match of the video. I tried to be a little bit more critical because you did say you wanted to really reach Legend, and I wanted to just really point out the mistakes that maybe you can correct and get there, because I think everyone has the potential to get there. Obviously your team building is definitely going to hold you back as well, but there was a lot of issues with the actual gameplay that you need to work on as well. So there are a couple of things, but obviously congrats on hitting Veteran. Thank you so much for submitting battles as well. That's going to be it for me from this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, peace.